here we are. Wow. Okay. So I'm redoing this video because obviously, if you saw the last one, we had no sound. So it always helps to turn your microphone on, and I'm hoping that was the problem and that it works this time. So a couple of the things. So understanding Republicans, why we stand behind Donald Trump. One of the huge things behind this is not that we are standing behind a man. We stand behind Donald Trump because of what he has done for us, for the American people. The basic premise to being the Republican or constitutionalist or whatever you want to call it. There's three things. There's the God and country, the Constitution, and freedom. You can say that's four things, but I put God and country together because whether people want to believe it or not, this country was founded on the very principle of freedom of religion and Christianity. God. So those three things are the fundamentals of what I believe as a Republican, and I think I can speak for maybe a good portion of, if not all, of what Republicans believe. Everybody's got a different idea of what it is that they want to vote for, what they believe in, what it should be. Who are we? Who are the Republicans? Or the working class men? They're the blue-collar workers. They're the people that work every single day, and they work hard. Okay, I'm not saying that there's Democrats that don't work. That's not at all what I'm saying. People want to call Republicans. I've been told that I'm brainwashed by Donald Trump's lies. Well, let me tell you something. I can match Donald Trump's lies, lie for lie, with Biden. Okay, with Nancy Pelosi, with any other Democrat. You can talk about all the politicians lying, whatever. I don't care. I don't care, because the proof is in what he's done for the American people. I have asked 1 billion times, not 1 billion, actually probably about 6 times, what is it about Donald Trump's policies that you don't like? And I have never gotten a response. I don't care about how you feel about him. I don't care what he said about women or children or anything else. I don't care. What about his policies don't you like? And I have not gotten one response. Okay, the one person that did respond couldn't tell me anything about his policies that they didn't like. They just wanted to tell me how his personality didn't suit them. Well, I happen to like Donald Trump. He's my kind of guy. He's no bullshit. He puts it right out there just the way that it is, and whether you like it or not, you don't have to like what he says. He's going to say it anyway. Is it presidential? No, but he's not a politician. He's not out there to worry about snowflakes and the sensitive people and what do you feel and how you feel and did it make you cry or not. That's not his concern, and it's not mine either. I'm the same type of person. I'm going to put it out there so there's no mistake of what it is that I'm saying. So you don't have to guess. So that being said, we didn't vote for Donald Trump. Most people didn't vote for Trump as a person. They voted for him because they like what he's doing for America. If you don't, I challenge you to write me and tell me what it is he's done that is bad. All right, so the fundamental differences, I think, between the Democrats and Republicans is we're not progressive. Let me rephrase. We're not progressive to the point that we want to get rid of the Constitution to compete with other countries economically, or that we want to alienate our allies. We're progressive to the point where we want to stay up with what other countries are doing, but we don't want to become another country. We don't want to get rid of our Constitution and become a socialist country. I want to touch on that a little bit. Socialism doesn't work in any way, shape, or form, and neither does communism. It all looks good on paper. I make $1, you make 50 cents, I give you a quarter, we both have 75 cents. I don't like it. If I work 18 hours a day and you work 2 hours a day, you don't deserve the pay that I get. If I have education in a certain area that you don't, I should make more than you. As a business owner, I'll hire somebody that knows more than you. And I'm not going to pay you the same thing that I pay them. And I'm sure that they wouldn't expect to split their income with you because you don't. It doesn't work. It looks good on paper. Everybody's equal. Everybody has. It doesn't never work in real life. Because then what happens is the people that are working end up paying the majority, and then the people that are not putting in so much go, well, why do I need to? Because I'm going to get it anyway. I'm going to get my socialized medicine. I'm going to get this. The government's going to take care of me. Free utilities, free gas, and all of that smoke screen that's put out there. Okay, it doesn't work that way, and that's what I vote against. I'm not voting necessarily for Donald Trump. He just happens to be the person that's doing the right thing for people. And you can say he's not. You want your socialized medicine? Go to a different country. I'm telling you right now, because nothing's free. I pay for it. The working class pay for it. You can say no. I'm telling you yes. And I'll argue that all day long. Nothing is free. Okay? That being said, I want to keep my money. If that sounds bad, then it sounds bad. Does it sound selfish? No, okay, then it sounds selfish. And the people that are going to tell me that it's selfish are the people that aren't making what I make, and the people that don't want to work, or whatever. The only people that should be taken care of are the people that cannot work for some physical reason or medical reason, and veterans and the elderly. That's it. Those are the people that have contributed. Those are the people that need it. The rest, I consider to just be flat lazy. And I don't have respect for that. I have no respect for that. If you want it, go earn it. That's what this country was built on. This country wasn't built on a bunch of guys sitting around doing nothing and writing out laws. Even our government was voluntary. Congress was a voluntary position. We didn't have career criminals in office being elected to Congress and staying there for their whole lives and doing absolutely nothing. That's what this party, I'm not speaking for the whole Republican Party, I'm speaking for me and probably a majority of people. That's what we voted against. I don't care how many mandates you put out there. You can tell me I can't have Christmas. You can tell me I can't have Thanksgiving. You tell me to wear a mask. Tell me all of that stuff, and I'm not going to follow those rules. I will follow laws. I'm not going to follow controlling mandates that violate my rights to make a decision on my own. I do not need a government to tell me what I can and cannot do. When it comes to my personal life or myself, I don't care if you like it. I'm not speaking for the people that don't like that. Will I wear a mask? I do out of courtesy, not out of compliance. Let's get that straight. Do I believe they work? Absolutely not. And if they do work, and you're wearing a mask, and social distancing works, and you stay away from me, then you shouldn't have a problem. I just read a post today from a friend of mine that said her boss caught COVID, and he blames everybody but himself because he wears a mask everywhere he goes, and he's social distancing, and he follows all the rules of this pandemic, and he still got it. So if it works, then what do you need to worry about me wearing a mask for? You don't. You don't have to worry about it. If your mask is working and your social distancing is working and you stay far enough away from me, you don't have to worry about it, right? Right? That's all I'm going to say on that subject. Again, I don't want to get a bunch of emails and people yelling at me because I said that. I do wear a mask where I need to wear it. I don't wear it in my car. I'm not going to wear it when I'm walking down the street. I will wear it in public places that require me to wear it in order to go in and do something. If I need to go in and I need to buy gas and I need to buy groceries or whatever, I'll wear a mask so I can do that, and it's coming off of my face the minute that I walk out the door. That's just how it is. I'll wear it to go to church because I will not miss church. I consider myself a Christian. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. I swear. I get angry. I'm probably not as nice to people as I should be sometimes, but I'm not Jesus. I follow his teachings as closely as I can. I don't claim to be perfect. I'm not perfect. And I'm not going to try to be. That's the way it is. If you want to know what, I'm not trying to convert anybody. I'm not going to go out there and yell at you and tell you you're going to hell. I don't know where you're going. And it's, frankly, I would love to see you there if I make it to heaven. Hopefully. I pray that I do. That I do a well enough job and I follow the Lord closely enough and have a good enough relationship that I can earn my way in. When I say earn my way in, I don't want any discussion about that. What I mean is, I'm hoping I can get there. I'm hoping that's where I end up. All right, so if you want to know what the Bible says, I'll be happy to tell you. I'm not going to tell you you're going someplace, you're going to hell because you don't follow Jesus. I don't know. People turn to Christ all the time when they're on their deathbed. You can do it a minute before you pass. I don't know. I don't know where you're going. I need to worry about my salvation. The Lord says to feed his sheep, I'll feed you. I'll tell you the word. But I'm not the one that's going to save you. I leave that job to God. Jesus' job is to save you. Mine is to tell you how to find him. That's the way I see it anyway. So that's part of, I don't want to get too far off, but that's part of being and voting for the party that I do anyway. And I'm going to say we because I know I speak for at least one other person other than me. So I fight for the Constitution. I will always fight for the Constitution. I have rights that were given to me by the founders of this country. They escaped Britain and left Britain because of religious persecution, amongst other things, and they formed this country in such a way, and that Constitution was written in a way to make sure that you and I keep the rights that we have. I've had discussions about the First Amendment, freedom of speech. You can say anything you want. Here's the part that gets me with you Democrats and the things you don't understand about socialism and communism. You want to say everything you want to say, and you want to talk about it. You want to call people names. You want to say this about the government and that about the government. Well, let me tell you something. If it becomes socialist and it becomes communist or even touches on it, you won't have that freedom. You won't have the freedom to say, I don't like that. You won't have the freedom to even vote. That can be taken away from you. And that's what Donald Trump is fighting about. I don't think Trump even cares if he ends up in office right now. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty certain Does he want to be president? Absolutely. I'm absolutely positive he wants to be a president, but I think he's more concerned at this point about proving the fraud that is happening and how these elections are rigged. There is no way, nothing you can say to me that's going to tell me or I'm going to agree with our election results being put on a server and stored in different countries, Venezuela and Germany or whatever. From what I understand, the FBI seized those servers, so we'll see what happens. But there's no way you can tell me there's not fraud. I will fight socialism, I'll fight communism, and I'll fight for the Constitution for this country. And I believe that's what Donald Trump is doing. How has he done this? What has he done for me as an American citizen? What has he done for you? Even if you don't want to admit it, your taxes are lower. You want to know why? Because he renegotiated trade deals that were horrible to begin with. China paid 0 tariffs. Most of these countries that he renegotiated this deal with paid 0 tariffs. That means they brought their junk, their crap, their break apart in a day products to the United States and stuck them on our shelves and paid nothing to do it. We pay for everything that we send to these other countries. Every product that we send to another country, we pay a tariff on. And those tariffs are based on the retail price. Does that make any sense to you? I don't care about alienating China. I don't care about alienating other countries that don't want to pay to bring their junk over here. I can care less, because what that did, by him doing that, it took the burden off of the American taxpayer. It took the burden off of me, and it took the burden off of you. And that lowered our taxes. Why? Because then the government doesn't rely on me and you alone to fund all of the programs and things that we got going on inside our government. It pays to keep our infrastructure together. You can't do it with just the taxpayer. Me and you cannot foot that whole bill. Are we trillions in debt? Yeah, to who? Who are we in debt to? Half of you can't tell me. Are we actually in debt? Do we owe this person and that person and that person? Absolutely not. I'll tell you who we owe. We owe the Federal Reserve. How many of you know that the Federal Reserve that prints our money is not a government entity? It's a privately owned corporation. That's who we owe. Because when we take a loan, that goes through the Federal Reserve. So what they do, we need $1 billion to pay for a new shuttle, whatever. I'm just using a figure. And the Federal Reserve backs that money and says, okay, we'll do that. And then they charge interest on it. So the interest on your home is paid to the lender because the lender is borrowing that money from the Federal Reserve to lend to you. Then the Federal Reserve controls the interest rates. So as they print money, rates go up and down. They set the rate. It gets a lot more involved, but I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to go into the whole financial picture. That's just a little bit basic, and there's a lot of information that's left out of it. But one thing is for sure, we don't owe other countries. We owe the Federal Reserve. For the first time in God knows how many presidencies, Donald Trump has got us energy independent. We don't have to buy oil from Arab countries or anywhere else. That's why our gas is at $2 and change a gallon right now. Because when he renegotiated those trade deals, we won. America won. That's what he wants. The Democrats, they don't want that. They don't want financial independence for you. They don't want independence for me. Because if you keep people poor, you keep them broke, you control them. All they're interested in is power. That's why I'd vote Republican. Let me tell you something. I think of it this way. It's very simple. It's the same as training a horse. You keep this in mind. If you control the head, you control the body. I don't care if you ride or not. People that ride understand. And that's what the Democrats are trying to do. They're trying to control the head. They want to stay in power so that they can control the body. Who's the body? That's me and you. How do you do that? You do that by keeping things away from them. You take away their freedoms, you take away their liberties, you take away their ability to fight you, the government. That's how you control people. That's what I fight against. Okay, now Joe Biden, he can put a federal tax on my property. In addition to my state tax, he can tax me on my firearms, he can tax me on anything that he wants. It's going to cause a problem. Most people will take their money underground, and then what's going to happen is you folks that he promised all this free stuff to are going to figure out it's not free. And I'm going to tell you this, you're going to pay for it. That's what I fight against. That's what the Republicans fight against, because they understand that nothing is free. Somebody's going to pay for it. Somebody's going to have to pay those doctors. Your insurance company is going to have to pay. Your insurance rates are going to go up. All right? Somebody's got to pay for it. Everything in the world has to be paid for. Everything. If it's manufactured, you're paying 4 people for that. You're paying the manufacturer, the people that provided the products to manufacture it. You're paying the retailer, and you're paying the wholesaler. And that's just touching on it. Those are the things that I fight against. Right? Socialism doesn't work. Communism doesn't work. We have to have a capitalist society for things to work. We have to have that. Unfortunately, haves and have-nots come along with that. But there has to be people like Donald Trump and people like HP and people that provide stuff in order for us to move along. We can't all make the same money. We can't all pay, or we can't have half of the people paying for stuff and the other half just accepting it, just taking it. You end up with a deficit. That's why it doesn't work. That's why none of this stuff works. That's what I fight against. That's what most Republicans fight against. We want low taxes. Absolutely. More money in my pocket makes the economy better. Why? Because if you and me have more money in our pocket, what are we going to do? We're going to spend more. That's going to drive up our economy. Our economy is going to be great, which is exactly what happened. That's what Donald Trump is fighting for. That's what he did for me and for you and for everybody else. Keeping our money in our pocket so that we can feed our family. That's what Donald Trump wants. You can talk about all of this business stuff and his bankruptcies and all of that stuff. I don't care. Bankruptcy, for those of you that don't understand business, is a commonplace thing for businesses that don't work out so well. Most of your major companies at one time or another have filed bankruptcy, either a reorganization or for debt relief, or have gone completely out of business. So that being said, smaller government, that's what we look for. We don't need a large government. Look, if you want clean water, you got to get the pigs out of the river. That's just how it works. The smaller the government, the more freedoms you and I have to be able to live our lives the way that we want to. Some people don't want that. They just want free. Well, when your freedom of speech goes away, because they're already controlling the mainstream media, they're already telling them what they can and cannot say. All right, the Clown News Network, NBC, ABC, they're all full of bull. They have a narrative. They are told what they should be saying and what they shouldn't be saying. We had you have journalists that have gotten away from the networks, the major networks, and it's amazing the great things they have to say about our president and about our economy and about the things that are going on when they don't have somebody else telling them what they should and shouldn't be saying. And that's why I'm Republican. I don't want a government telling me what I can and cannot do, what I can and cannot say, when I can and can't say it. That's not American. As far as the Constitution, I will defend it to the end. If you tell me I don't need an assault rifle to hunt, you're absolutely right. But the Second Amendment doesn't talk about hunting. Has nothing to do with hunting. It talks about a well-formed militia and having the right to bear arms to defend yourself against enemies, foreign and domestic. What are domestic enemies? Those are the people right here in this country. These are the people that call themselves the Democratic Party. You can talk about Trump all you want. He's a liar. Okay. Yep. So is Biden. You can talk about Trump. He dodged the draft. Yep. So did Biden. So did Clinton. So did Obama. Okay. None of them served in the military during wartime. Not one of them. You can tell me he's a failed businessman. He filed bankruptcy. Okay, but he's a billionaire. How many failed business people do you know are billionaires? Does he have more money than he owes? I don't know. You know, most successful businesses are in debt. That's just the way it is. Right? If you're going to grow a business, you're going to go into debt. So that's to understand this stuff and see what Donald Trump has done for me and for you and for other people, the working people. My taxes are lower. My father's medication is cheaper because of the things that Donald Trump has done, not because of Obamacare. Okay, Trump opened up, for those of you that don't know, your medication, your insulin probably went down by at least 50%. There's other medications that have dropped at least that much, and some as much as 80%. And why? Because Donald Trump opened up the market and he said, Canada and Europe and anybody that makes these drugs and can bring it to us cheaper, they can sell it here in America. And that's why these drugs are cheaper, because he made it a competitive market. So listen, if you want to, I don't want to get too far off track, because the whole purpose was to kind of give you an insight into what it is that Republicans believe, what we are voting for. It could be Captain Kangaroo in office. If he did the things that Trump did for the American people, I'd be voting for Captain Kangaroo. That's just the way it goes. It happens to be Donald Trump. I happen to like him. I think he's a straight shooter and he's up front. All right, that's the way that I am. I'll tell you the way that I feel about things. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to say just the way that it is. And if you're sensitive enough to get your feelings hurt, I don't know what to tell you. But listen, let's discuss it. Let's talk about it. Follow me, share my video, like my video or dislike it, whatever it is that you care to do. Happy to be here with you guys. We'll see you again the next time. Let's just have. Let's just talk about this stuff. Common sense. See you next time.